welcome back to Chromatic Knits. My name is Michelle, and this is my podcast all about knitting, music, and life. You can find me on Instagram as Chromatic_knits, and you can find me on Ravelry as ChromaticKnits. I am so glad to be back. Welcome if you're new, welcome back if you're returning. I'm always so glad to see you all here. I have done some knitting, have some things that went well, some things that went not so well. So we'll get into all that in just a second. But the first thing that I want to talk about that I didn't talk about last time is that it is Pride Month. And as someone who is LGBT, I am bisexual and someone who is in a same-sex relationship, I can tell you that we need pride more now than ever, especially with yesterday's ruling, or overruling, as it were, of Roe versus Wade, and some of the things that have been possibly said to come down the pipe following that ruling. As someone who is in a same-sex relationship, I can tell you that coming out was terrifying. Telling my family was terrifying, and I can tell you that one of the very first people that I came out to, and I told that I was in a same-sex relationship, told me that they were not happy about it and that I shouldn't tell people about it. So not everybody takes it well. I was honestly very concerned that my family was going to disown me. I was very concerned that a few of my friends would disown me, coming from a very religious family, a Catholic family, and a Lutheran family, and coming from friends who are also very religious. I was very concerned that I was going to end up with no one but my partner. Fortunately, that did not happen. Fortunately, my parents are good with it, but that's not true of everyone. You shouldn't have to be terrified to be something that is part of you as much as your hair color is part of you. Being LGBT is as much of a choice as me having brown hair. It's just something that's inside of you, that is always inside of you, no matter what. That is just a part of you. A lot of people these days, luckily, are finding that being gay has less of a stigma to it than it used to. Because remember, in America, it wasn't always legal to be gay. It wasn't legal to be married and be gay. And just within the last 5 years, it has become constitutionally covered under the Civil Rights Act. So think about that. The Civil Rights Act was passed in the 1960s, and it did not include LGBT people until within the last 5 years. That's pretty messed up. That means that we still have a long way to go. And just because those laws have passed does not mean that states will observe them. That does not mean that local police will observe them. It does not mean that companies don't get away with firing people or punishing people every day just because they come out. So not only are people losing their family and their friends, but they're losing their jobs, they're losing their housing, they're losing everything. They're losing custody of their kids. And along with that, yeah, being kind of the gay best friend is now a thing for guys, but being a girl in a same-sex relationship is still stigmatized. It's still seen as this thing that is different and weird and rare, even though it's not. Even though it's a lot of people. And it's been going on for a long time. There have been lesbians as long as there have been gay men. Like, and bisexual people that have been with either gender, either sex relationship for eons. So we still have a lot of fight ahead of us. There are Supreme Court justices that are threatening the rights of the LGBT community. There are rumors that gay marriage will be threatened, that cohabitation of gay people will be threatened, among other things. So please, 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 all I have to say is this November, please, please vote. Because the only people that can overrule our Supreme Court is our Congress. They can pass it as a federal law without the Supreme Court's approval. So that's why we have this checks and balances system in place, so that no one branch of the government can completely overrule another one. So if you're wanting to watch what I would say is a true gay show, a true LGBT show, there are many of them. Some newer ones that have come out within the last couple of years are Heartstopper is so good on Netflix. If you haven't seen it, would highly recommend. It's been approved for a second season, so please watch it. I've been watching it on repeat personally because it's so cute and it's so true. Like, when I remember when I was trying to figure out if I was bi, it was like, am I gay? Am I bi? Like, what is happening? What is my choice? You know, and it's not a choice. Like I said, which one is me? I don't know. It's a lot of internal struggle and a lot of external struggle to get there. It's a lot about what happens when you come out. What happens when you're trying to be with somebody who isn't out, and how hard that can be. Alex Strangelove is another one that's on Netflix. Would highly recommend. Again, this one's a movie, but has a lot of really good stuff in there. Trying to figure out, again, gay, bi, what are we doing? What's going on? And there are a few other ones. Let me see. Holding the Man is a really good movie. If you haven't seen it, I would highly recommend it. It's an Australian movie. It's a true story. It's a book written by one of the main characters in the movie, who it was a real person. They were both real people, about what it was like to be gay in Australia when it was illegal to be gay. And when people basically thought that they could pray it away, pray the gay out of you. So would highly recommend that one. It's really good. It's really sad though, so also bring Kleenex with you when you watch it. It's so good, but it's so sad at the same time, because the story, their life is during the height of the AIDS crisis, so you see a lot of that going on as well, just as a fair warning. A couple other ones that you should definitely not watch around children, but that are very true, and that I see myself in people that I know in them that are a part of the LGBT community, is Queer as Folk. Highly recommend. The first season is on Amazon Prime. You can watch that with your Prime membership there, and then I think you have to buy the other seasons, but it's so good. Would highly recommend. And the L Word. There's two different versions of the L Word. There's the original L Word, and then there's the L Word Generation Q. The first season of each of those is also on Amazon Prime. Would highly recommend both of those. Would highly recommend not watching them with family members or children. Basically, there's a lot of sex. So if you'd rather not watch that around certain people, then don't do it. but the actual content is very good. And you see a lot of like adult issues that people in the LGBT community deal with. So would highly recommend all of those. Those are available on all of those networks. Sorry if you can hear Arya chewing her bone. We're just doing that today so that she's not climbing all over me. Okay, now moving on. I have some knitting to show. So I have been really busy on my advent calendar. So again, this is the Mitten Advent Calendar by Kathy Lewinsky. This is a pattern that you can find online. I know you can find it on Ravelry. I'm not sure if you can find it on other sites or not. But I've been doing a lot of work on that the past couple weeks. I have all of these done and I have one more started. So we have number 11. You can see that. The gray is very similar to the white, so it's kind of hard to see unless you're really close. Now, the funny thing about this 12 is that I missed 2 stitches, so honestly, I just took a red pen and colored them in. So if you look in the number 12, it's just in the number 12. There's like 2 stitches right in the middle of the numbers that are a little bit of a different color than the rest of it. They're not gonna notice. It'll be fine. But yeah, I was like, I'm not going back all the way for that. No. 13. These cute little colorwork mittens. They look the same on the front and the back, so see there's a bell on both sides. 14. 15. This one's very subtle. 16. Which I messed up the back, but like we're not gonna see the back, so that's fine. We'll pretend like it never happened. Right? Right. 17, a little Christmas tree. And yes, I did carry the yarn triple so that I could get those little red ornaments in there. And I've started number 18. So this is the beginning of number 18. So I'll have this one done most likely for next time. Because again, I just can't put them down. So just in the last 2 weeks, I've done this many mittens. So it's a lot, but I'm gonna get this done. I'm not gonna be like, there was a girl that I showed this to in my knitting group, and my knitting group, I can't remember. It was either in my knitting group or in an online group, but she was like, yeah, so I started that pattern a long time ago, and I think I'm about halfway through. And I think she said it had been years since she started, so hopefully it will not be years. I will have at least one full advent done for this Christmas, and we'll talk about future advents. They will be happening as well. But yeah, so that one is almost done, and then I will have a month of just sewing in ends because I'm just refusing to do it until the very end when it's gonna suck the most instead of just sewing them in as I go like a winner would. Can't have any of that nonsense. Oh, and again, I'm using Knit Picks palette in the recommended colorways. So I'm using Pimento is the red, white, ash is the dark gray, and the light gray, I've said on here before, I can't remember what it is. It's something heather. But yeah, so I would recommend those yarns, which they are on sale right now. Knit Picks is having their summer sale, so they have some yarns that are like 50 or 60% off, and I think palette is like 40-ish% off. It's more than like the minimum, which we will see some of that. Some nitpicks happened, but we'll see that in a minute. But they also have tools on sale, so like Swifts and knitting needles and all that stuff. So now is the time. And they have the Summer Felici in stock now, so if you're, you know, looking for any of that stuff, now's the time to do it. Yeah, I fell down with Boom a little bit. Yeah, I shouldn't be buying yarn, but I did. Oh well, don't tell anyone, it's fine. All right, next whip. I worked on, let's make sure that I grab both the needles so that I don't drop stitches like crazy. I worked on my Slipstravaganza blanket. Almost dropped all the stitches, but I didn't. Woot woot. Okay, so I was at the strawberry. Where's the strawberry? There's the strawberry. Okay, so I was in the middle of this section, right where that strawberry is, if you can see that. And so I finished that section and I started the next section, which is bubbles. You can even see what I'm doing because I'm holding my arms stupidly. Okay, so I finished this section. So I had like 2 or 3 more repeats up here of this, and then I started into the bubble section, finished the first row. This is the second one. I am making the larger size of the blanket. So I will have, you know, we're going to be keep going, and eventually I'll be adding more needles to this. Right now they're all crammed onto one needle, so they make this kind of like pooch pouch. But yeah, it's coming along. So I've got the center part, the honeycomb part, this section complete, and then I've started the bubbles. So and I only stopped because I ran out of yarn. So I didn't run out of yarn. I ran out of caked up yarn. So I need to cake up another skein of the Monstera, which is the turquoise, the tealy turquoisey color, which is a hand-dyed yarn by a homespun house. And again, all these yarns are DK. I've gone over the colors on them before in previous podcasts, but yeah, so I just need to cake that up because originally I started this blanket soon after I moved here, and I could not for the life of me find my ball winder. So I had to wait, and I got one for Christmas. So I hand wound my first skeins of all of the colors. So this, so far, except for the black, this is only one skein of each of the colors. Which, including the purple. So, because the purple I didn't have to cake up because they're already in little balls. But yeah, no, I had to hand wind everything else. And then I had to hand wind 2 of the blacks because I'm holding them double. Because it's more of a lace weight. So holding them double, I'm getting more of a DK weight. So that is coming along. Little by little, we are getting there. So my plan is just to not leave it untouched completely over an entire month. Like work on that a little bit during the month, each month. So then that way it's at least going to get done before I die. Hopefully, fingers crossed. So, yeah, so that's the plan. But yeah, I have a lot more left to do. I'm going to be doing the larger bubble section because I'm making the larger blanket. So that's going to take a long time. It's taking, right now, we're over 30 minutes a round, 30 minutes a row, because there's just so many stitches on the needles. Because again, it's a blanket. Hello. Hi, Arya. You want to be on the podcast? Hello. I know. She doesn't understand who I'm talking to. So she's trying to figure it out. Are you trying to figure it out? Okay. Yeah, go sit up there. That's a good plan. Yeah. You're not a parrot. You don't need to be on my shoulder. Okay. So she's just gonna chill back there. So next I have my sweater. So, okay. I'll show you the sweater. So first of all, because I know someone will ask, what is this? This is a cord that I got from Yarn Candy, Candy with a K, down in Little Rock, Arkansas. These are called her candy cords. So you put your loops, you put your stitches on the cord so you can try it on. So I got 2 cords. I believe they're 36-inch cords each. So I have 1/2 of it still on the needles and then 1/2 on one of the cords. So, but I'm not really fussed about the cord right now because this thing, okay, this is just barely split for sleeves. Okay, I maybe have 2 inches of below the sleeve. This thing is so big. Like, the thing fits me as a dress. It's so big. And I haven't even knit hardly any of the body yet. And I haven't started the sleeves. And the shoulder part goes down to past my elbows. And I haven't even started the sleeves. Like, the thing is massive. So, this is going to be going to the frog pond. The entire thing is going to get ripped out. Now, will I try to reknit this pattern? Heck yeah. Because that's the point, like, that's one of the magical things about knitting, right? Is that you can rip it out and start over. It's magic. So, yeah. We're gonna be completely redoing this. This thing is just it's so big. Like, it's just so big. And I mean, I'm big, but I'm not this big. Like, dang. This is so big. So, yeah. This is getting frogged. And then I'm going to try again, probably a couple sizes smaller, and see where we get along with that. I am still enjoying this yarn, though. This is Woolly Knits British Wool. I've never used it before. This is my first time. So I am holding it double because it is basically a lace weight that when you hold double, it becomes DK. Yeah, but this whole thing is going to get frogged, which this was many hours of knitting because I basically knit a tarp. So, but you know, you live and you learn, right? You knit and you learn. It's fine. It's not like I'm losing the yarn, you know. If I wasn't knitting on that, it would have been something else. It's fine. But yeah, so that is a little bit heartbreaking, but it's fine. I'm just gonna rip it all out, and we're just gonna start over like it never happened. It'll be great. But I might be starting a different project in the meantime, so keep looking for that. I'll talk about that a little bit more at the end of the podcast. One other thing I've been working on, my last whip, is I've been working on the Garter Blanket that I said that I would make one of my friends. So this is just a straight up Garter Blanket. Nothing fancy about it. I am knitting this out of Stash. I know, right? I already had this yarn in Stash, so I figured I would use it. This person that is going to definitely I think would appreciate an acrylic blanket more than a woolen one. solely because of the amount of washing that you can do on acrylic versus a woolen one. So you don't have to worry about felting it. You don't have to worry about any of that. Okay, so so far this is, I'm using the Karen Big Cakes. I just got it at like Joann's. I have 5 of them, and so far I've used about 1.5. So I've got about 2 to 3 feet here of knitting so far. So my plan is to knit this until it is as tall as I am, or until I run out of yarn, whichever one comes first. So right now it's about from the floor to about my knee or so. So we've still got a ways to go. But yeah, so that's coming along. This is really nice and mindless. I like working on this when I'm just watching a movie or just want to do something other than the colorwork mittens. As much as I love them, sometimes I just need a break and just want to do something mindless that I don't have to think about. And then that's when this comes out. I can also do this like during meetings and during work so that I'm still paying attention to what they're doing, but my hands are still busy because, again, I have ADHD. So if I'm not doing something with my hands will do something on their own, which usually means tapping or other things that are annoying, to be frank. So I'd rather be knitting than be annoying, so that's usually what happens. But yeah, so it's a self-striping yarn. You can kind of see where I switch the cakes, but whatever, this person isn't gonna care or notice. So yeah, it's coming along. It'll be a blanket one day when it grows up. It'll be a blanket when it grows up. So yeah, I've got about that left. So about half. This is Karen Big Cakes. Don't know if there's a color number or not. It's called Grape Jelly. So, and I'm knitting this on a size 10 needle. It recommends a size 8, but I was like, I don't want to. I want it done. So I did a size 10. So yeah. And that's living inside. I got this bag like a million years ago. I feel like it was probably like 10 years ago. 10, 15 years ago. I don't remember. I think I was still in college at the time. But it was like from, I don't know, Joann Fabrics or Michael's or something. One of those. It was from one of those. You know. Just basic. Someone looked up like knitting bag at Joann Fabrics and got this for me as a gift for like Christmas or my birthday or something. But yeah, it's really nice. It's nice and big. Cinch bag with handles. I mean, well, what more can you ask for? It's got pockets on the inside and the outside. So, would highly recommend. Don't know if they still make these. Don't know if you can still get them. But if they do, I would recommend it. Don't know what brand it is. Doesn't have a label on it anymore. Who knows? Okay, so that covers what I'm working on. Now, I have been shopping. In my defense, it is Pride Month. So the first 3 things that I'm going to show you are sort of Pride Month involved. So the first thing is, sorry about the crinkling, I saw these socks. They're RFI socks. So you get 2 cakes. This is 2 different sets. So you get 2 cakes in each set that equal, total it's 100 grams. So you get 2 50 gram cakes to make your socks. And it gradiates so that it looks like that. If you can see that on the label. I don't know if you can with the glare. So it kind of goes from like purple to blue to red to, it kind of goes like at the end, then back to the beginning of the rainbow. I saw these on Aquila's A Lefty Knitter podcast and was like, yes, I want those. And they're not very expensive. They're like $15, $10, $15 on Etsy. If you just look up RFI sock, you'll see there's a bunch of different ones. I got this one because pride. But yeah, so you can find them in any of those places, and I am really looking forward to working with them. She's really liking working with them, so I'm hoping that I will as well. And I decided that if I'm going to get one for me, I should probably get one for maybe my partner if she wants one, or for one of my other gay friends. Because again, we all know each other. I mean, we don't, but we sort of do. But yeah, so I got that. And then the second thing I got isn't technically like a pride colorway. This is from Chromatic yarns. This is her sundial colorway, but this was giving me like major bisexual vibes with the pink, because the bisexual flag is pink, purple, and blue is the bisexual flag, which is what all the colors in here are. There's some shade of pink, purple, and blue, and then there's a black that kind of separates them. But I was like, could I make bisexual socks? Could I make a Musselburgh hat with bisexual stripes? I might need to get more than one and have some socks and a hat that match. But I am loving the bisexual vibes that I'm getting from this. I think this was the last one in her shop, but she has such good self-striping. I love her self-striking. I have a lot of it. Would highly recommend it though if you are looking for a self-striper, and she does have some that are in the gobstopper, which this one luckily was. It says on her listings if it's available in the skein or if it's available in the gobstopper. Not everything is available in the gobstopper, even if the picture is a picture of a gobstopper, just to let you know. This is in her, again, this is the sundial colorway in her twisty sock base, which is 400 yards per 100 grams, and it's an 80-20 base, which I prefer 80-20 over 75-25. So this will be something one day when it grows up. And then I had to. It's sort of a rainbow, but so I have the rainbow on the outside. It's also a drawstring bag, so it can hold a lot more than just what fits in here. It can go all the way up to here and then drawstring. And then on the inside, let's see, I have rainbow Darth Vader on the inside. So she has a very special shop on Etsy. But you can message her and ask for any. I made this as a special order, so she was like, yeah, just look through all of my fabrics, let me know what you want on the outside. She also makes some with pockets on the outside, but I didn't want pockets on the outside. I just wanted pockets on the inside. And that's what I told her, and I picked out my fabrics, and then she made it, and it came today, and it looks amazing, and I love it, and I'm so excited because this is going to be my next sweater bag, because my bag that I'm using right now is not nearly big enough to hold a sweater. So, and this comes from, oh my goodness, I will put it on the screen because it is on my phone, which I am using to record. So I can't really look that up, but I will put the name on the screen here. Would highly recommend. It came super fast. Like, I ordered it Monday, it is now Saturday. So that means, like, and it wasn't one that was ready made. That means that she made it and shipped it and it got here today. Like, that is amazing. So would highly recommend, and the prices are decent, are nice. It was $55 for this bag, but again, I had it personally made and that included shipping. So I think it was actually $45 for the bag and then $10 shipping, which is very reasonable compared to a lot of other people. And then, so I did a little bit of an order from Knit Picks. And I got, hold on, there's a lot of cards in here. You know, I got some things. Yeah. So I have a sweater's quantity of gloss DK. I have, what is this? Gloss fingering. Oh, I have a couple, I have a sweater's quantity of gloss fingering. And then the rest of this is all Knit Picks palette. Here you go. It's Finley Heather. Is that gray color that I didn't know what it was? Yeah, the rest of this is Knit Picks palette because I'm going to be making 2 more, count them, 2 more of the Mitten advent calendars for myself and for one of my friends, actually the same friend that I'm making the garter stripe blanket for. The sweaters quantity, so my plan is I'm gonna make a t-shirt because I don't have any short sleeve sweaters or tees. I'm gonna make the collar tee, which is one that, oh no, what's her name? I'll put it on the screen. I can't think of what it is right now. It's right on the tip of my tongue. Anyway, so she's on the Stitching the High Notes podcast, and she's currently knitting a collar tee. She just finished it, I think, or she's very close to finishing it in a similar color to this, and I love it. It is beautiful, and I really want to make one for myself. This is a very size inclusive pattern, which I highly appreciate. So I might, instead of casting that sweater on right away, putting the basic raglan sweater back on the needles immediately, I might cast on the collar tee. Is that a good idea? Am I gonna do it anyway? Yeah, we'll do it. So that is what I have for knitting and acquisitions this week. The rest of the podcast is going to be all about life things. So if you're not interested in that, thank you for coming. Thank you for being here. I will see you next time. So, short life update. It is hot here in Arkansas. Yeah, I'm allergic to the hot and the outside. Oh my gosh. My allergies are going insane with this weather. So it is like 90 degrees of death here, and I'm just dying all the time because I am from Wisconsin, which is cold. I mean, it gets hot in the summer, don't get me wrong, but it's not this like death hot heat that they have here. Like, this is some next level. And I've lived in Florida, okay, and that is super hot. Oh my gosh, it's the death. So that is what's going on. So I've been spending a lot of time watching movies. Like I said earlier, I've been watching Heartstopper on Netflix nonstop. I have been playing Fortnite because I am terrible at it and I want to get better at it so that when I play with other people, I'm slightly less terrible. That is the goal. I've also seen the new Top Gun Maverick movie. If you haven't seen it, would highly recommend. Didn't watch the first one before I saw it, excuse me. I watched the whole thing. We got out to the car and I told to my girlfriend, and I was like, yeah, so now it would be a good time to tell you that I haven't seen the first one. Yeah. And then we went and saw the new Jurassic World movie today, and she just looked at me and she was like, have you seen the one before this? And I'm like, I haven't seen any of the Jurassic World movies. I don't know how many there are. I don't know how many there've been. I don't know. But I saw the one today. Did I really need to see the other ones? Probably, to get some of the more subtle things. But I recognized the cast members. I recognized all the people that came back from the original Jurassic Park. So that was interesting. Yeah. So it's an interesting movie. She really liked it, and she's really into the Jurassic Park genre. The Jurassic Park saga, we can say. So that's something. Other than that, I've been reading A Discovery of Witches. I started it last month because it was the book of the month for the Love and Stitches book club. The Love and Stitches membership book club, which is run by Natalie over at Nitty Natty, which I joined this quarter. So April, May, June, and which is going to be opening up again for July. So if you're interested, be on the lookout for that. I think you can sign up to get on the wait list or pre-register or whatever she's calling it soon on our website. So I just check that out if you haven't already. Yeah, so I'm really liking it. The book was super long though, so I couldn't finish it in a month because I can't just, like, I used to be able to just sit and read for hours and hours and hours and hours, and then I went to college and then I hated reading. And then I was like, I can't do this. So now I can read in spurts, but it doesn't happen every day like it used to, for sure. But yeah, so that's kind of what I'm doing these days. I don't have a lot going on. I don't have a lot of plans. I do have some things coming up in July, so I may not be podcasting as regularly as I normally would. We shall see what happens. But yeah, otherwise, that's all that's going on in my world. I would love to hear from you. What are you knitting? What's going on in your world? What movies are you watching? What are you doing this summer that's bringing you joy? I would love to hear about all of those things down in the comments. And I have one last thing. I picked a winner, which I will put the name on the screen. Please contact me. You can reach me on Instagram as chromatic_knits. You can reach me on Ravelry as ChromaticKnits. Please do not comment your address down below because that is not safe. I don't want people to steal your address or to send you things. Like, I don't want bad things to happen. So please reach out to me in one of those places and let me know your address so I can send you some yarny goodies. Thank you so much. I hope you all have a wonderful day, a wonderful week, and I will see you in a couple weeks' time. Bye now.